Hello, good afternoon to all. Today we are going to continue our subject, or you can say the course 305 HR Operations, Unit number 1, that is Human Resource Administration. We have previously completed some basic concepts related to Human Resource Administration and some basic things related to it. Now, today we are going to go for the new point, that is purpose or objectives, you can say, of human resource administration. So let us now see what are the purpose or the objectives of human resource administration. See, every department or any you can say a task force has certain objectives or the purpose for which they are continuously working in order to gain some goal, right? So like every other this thing, um, human resource administration also has certain purposes, or you can say objectives, for which is it is continuously working and making efforts to brought sorry, you can say, to come or make everything together so that we can get towards the ultimate objectives or achievements that we wish to have. So let us see now, to do all these things, or you can say what are the actual objectives behind human resource administration which help us to do so. So the first one is to deliver services and activities which enable all departments to effectively manage and develop employees in an environment which is supportive of excellence and high performance. Just a second. Then the second object, it means that human resource administration basically works or they deliver the services or activities wherein they actually work for every department, or they make every other department enable to effectively manage their department, or you can say develop the employees of that department in the environment wherein these employees can get a support so that they can achieve their performance. They can more work hard and utilize all the resources made available through these activities of HR administration department, so that they can effectively manage their work upon various tasks allocated to them, and come up with some kind of output which, or you can say, a high performance which is required for the ultimate business goal achievement. Okay, the next objective is to develop and apply HR practices and solutions which produce positive outcomes for employees and managers. Okay, so the second objectives of HR administration is just to develop and apply various HR practices, because see, if you don't have a streamlined, disciplined policies and practices, you might not end up with the very you can say crisp and clean outcome of various tasks, right? So there are these policies and procedures very much of importance for every organization, and these people are responsible to implement them, design them, apply them, and actually get output out of it. Okay, so to develop and apply various HR practices and various solutions that they have got from the various issues that are coming forward towards them, and to come up with the positive outcomes out of which they can do something better for the employees or managerial people, so that they can more effectively work together and collaboratively they can work positive in a positive way as a team, and move towards the goals or success of the organization. Okay, so the third point is now to build and ensure capability, commitment, and compliance. See, it is very necessary that the capability of the employees should be raised up and up, right? Because if the employees are not going to grow with their skills, with their capabilities, or their capacities, if they're not going to reach up to there, what will happen after certain time period? The new people with new skills, new ideas will replace them, and these people have to then go somewhere in the dark. So it is better that their capability should be enhanced. So for this, various activities, training sessions, etc., are designed, are planned, and are approached by these people. Then the commitment, yes, commitment is very necessary because see, commitment is something which makes employee to have faith on the organization and have hope that yes, something positive will be received at our end through the organization for which we are working for, right? Because everyone is working in any place in expectation of return of something, right? And that commitment is very necessary from the employee point of view as compared to employer. So though both are having equal importance, but then too, when you are considering at the individual level, yes, it is obviously more important for employee to have a commitment from the organization about various aspects like his job security, his job role, then his responsibilities, etc., right? And the last one is compliance. See, legal compliance are the important things which are part and parcel of every organization, every employee and every employer, and they bind these two people to work together and go forward in the long run so as to achieve certain goals which are partly a common goal for both and partly individual goal, but it is necessary and mandatory. And for that reason, legal compliance is something which make them abided to get it break and continue towards working in a very efficient way so as to achieve the goal. So compliance is again a important aspect of any organization which has been taken care of by the administration administrative department. Okay, the last one now is to promote change and continuous improvement as a means of achieving departmental and organizational goals. Now see, uh, here the last point says that whatever the change is needed, those changes should be adopted, those changes should be accepted, and one should promote such means people for accepting the change, working with the new you can say generation, working with the new upgraded versions of their job part, etc. So for that you should be able to get yourself adapt to the new technology, to the new work culture, and many more. So changes are the part and parcel of our life, and hence it should be considered very well and given importance to, so that we can help ourselves as well as the organization to come up with new innovative kind of working methodologies and skills. Okay, then continuous improvement as a meaning of achieving departmental and organizational goal. So improvement is something which should not be a stagnant or which should always have a growing graph, a graph which is always moving upward, right? So continuously improving is something which is of very much necessity for every organization. And this our human resource administration team continuously work for this task so that the continuous improvement of the organizational departments take place by providing them necessary aid and support so as to achieve their ultimate goal, so that their ultimate departmental goal will be achieved, leading towards the achievement of organizational goal. So in this way, the purpose of the human resource administration is there, and it is continuously in process so that the organization will gain success in the long run. Okay, now let us move to the next point. Next point is structure of personnel department. I hope you all know what do you mean by structure, right? The way in which the hierarchy is placed in the organization, like a simple employee, then a blue collared employee, and then the higher level people, then the managerial people, and finally the board people, right? So all these together in a proper way in which their hierarchy lies is called are called as structure of the organization. Different kind of structures are available while considering human resource administration department. Now let us see about it. The organizational structure is based on the various ways activities are grouped together to create and units and describing the relationships in the organization. So as we discussed that these various different kinds of groups are formed, and these groups are nothing but the departments that are working in the organization to accomplish certain tasks, right? But they are related to each other and ultimately working for the end goal of the organization. So the organization structure is based on the various activities which are grouped together to create departments and units and prescribing their relationship in the organization. The internal structure of a of a personal department depends on various factors such as nature and size of the organization, managerial preference to structure operations clearly, external forces, etc. So see, there is not any kind of necessity that every organization will have the similar kind of organizational structure. The organizational structure will differ from organization to organization, and also within organization from department to department, depending upon number of people participating in certain kind of department. So in this way, this personal department is of different types in different organization depending upon the external forces and or organizational operations. Small firms have only a single section headed by a personnel officer taking care of everything. Medium sized firms may create a separate personnel department with having expert in a panel sorry while having expert in the personnel field supported by uh, administrative staff. So see, as mentioned here, uh, the organization is divided into a small section wherein which is headed by the personnel officer if in case if the organization is very small. So in case of small size organization and the nature of the organization, usually they have simple, you can say, they have the personal officer who take cares of this all HR and administrative activities, and he is responsible, or you can say assignee, for all the activities that are taking place in the organization. And in this way they come up with various this thing ideas, and these ideas which are thought over by the personnel officer are implemented throughout the organization. But when we are talking about the medium sized organization, they are separate from the personnel department, having experts in the personnel field supported by the administrative staff. Means if the size of the organization is little greater, or it has more number of employees or staff in it, then the organization structure might go change. And and they also have different organizational officer and different organizational departmental officer. So wherein these two people take care of all the joining formalities if required, or these people are responsible for managing all the departmental task in the organization. Okay, now in case of large organizations, the structure of a personnel department may take various shapes depending on organizations resources, competitive pursuits, and the total strength. Okay, now let us see in detail which are the various types of structure of personal department. So, personal department in the line organization. I hope you have already seen this in our previous session. We'll quickly review it and move further. So, see, in the line organization, the you can see as it is mentioned in the diagram. This department has two sub department. One is which are headed by general manager. The first department is the finger sorry the first department is the manager finance department, and the second department is the personal administration department. Now if you'll see the diagram, or you can see the structure of this line, kind of organizational structure of business administration department, you will see that these are the two uh, departments that are mentioned in this diagram, and each department has a managerial personnel who is head of that department, and he under them both they have uh, sub departments in it. Like for under manager finance will have accounts department, taxation department, etc. Then under personal manager they might have the marketing department, then other marketing related department. And when you are considering the personal administration department, then again it has sub departments under it, like recruitment and selection department, which is continuously taking care of recruitment and selection. Or you can say next that is general administration department, or pure administration department, legal department, etc. So depending upon that, various organizational departments are there which are headed by the managers of that respective departments. Like finance department will be headed by the financial manager, then the personnel department will be headed by the personnel department manager, then similarly for production manager, and similarly for strategy marketing strategic departments manager. Okay, in this way different department will have different uh, respective manager who will be part of that team and taking care of everything. And then under them, for example, if there is a marketing department, then under them there will be sales officer, sales supervisor, salesman, who will be working actually and taking care of all the day to day life activities of the organization. I hope all of you have understood this. I have shared the link of this page on the PPT. If necessary, you can go through the link. You'll find this entire notes on that. It is quite helpful and nicely mentioned. Okay. So the next point is personal department in functional organization. Now, see, if the functional organization there is there, then again the organizational structure will go on changing. All the activities of the companies are grouped according to the certain functions like production, marketing, finance, and personal. Okay, as you all know that different activities combine together to form an end product that we are expecting, right? So this different activities are like production, environment, finance, and personal administration, which are continuously working together to in the organization, and coming together to form some kind of a concrete output for achieving the organizational goal. Now each functional area is headed by a specialist who directs the activities on that area in that area for the entire organization. So for you can see that as it is mentioned over here, that every functional department head will take care of his departmental activities, and along with that also he'll be the part of entire organizational activities. Okay, line of authority is diagonal. Then the functional head has line authority under over subordinate in as shown in the own functional area. Okay, so every organization will have a functional head, like we have seen just now in the side one slide back, that marketing department will have a marketing manager, then HR department will have a HR department manager. So likewise you will have these managers. Next is the functional areas. Uh, Essentially, the functional structure essentially generates slow decision making process, because the problem recurring a decision has to go through various departments as all of them have something to say on the matter. Functional structure offers other line and staff conflict and interdepartmental conflict. They tend to find overpower resources and benefits. So they what they are telling is like, as you go ahead, you will see that the high degree of control and coordination of the function will be identified at your end, and also along with that, the organizational structure will be generated so that the slow decision making provides different because sorry slow decision making because the problem recurring a decision has to go through various departments as all them have something to say on the matter. Because see, if you are going to see any kind of organization, their work depend on each other. Unless and until a task gets completed from one person, it won't be other people won't be able to work upon it because they are interdependent and working together, right? So if such groups come together, then it might create a problem. Then each functional area is headed by a specialist who also directs the activities that in that area of entire organization. Means every department will have a head who will be taking care of all the activities that are to be done in the organization under that department, and also along with that, he will be directing that what is to be done, what is not to be done, and what is to be done in what way. So entire things will be explained by him. Then the line of authority is diagonal. uh, Yes, obviously it is diagonal because you can see the line kind of structure is horizontal in itself and it is little bit diagonal. Okay. And then the functional head has line authority over subordinates in his own functional area. Means if there is any kind of department, then the employees working under the department have to report to the ultimate departmental head of that department. Okay. So the line of control or authority is in whose hand? It is in the departmental head's hand. Okay. Uh, there is high degree of control and coordination of functions because all the work of one kind is done under one manager. Obviously, if the manager has to look for only one kind of activity or one department, he will be able to do that in a more efficient and better way. So there will be high degree of control over the activities and the coordination. Then functional structure essentially generates slow decision making because the problem requires a decision because the problem require a decision to be taken so that the problem will be solved, and it has to go through various departments so as all of them have something to say on the matter. The functional structure usually line offers line and staff conflicts and interdepartmental conflicts. They tend to over power resources and benefits. I mean, see, if any kind of the employee is having uh, just a second, many kind of organization go for the line and staff structure in which the people are working there, and a few of them are already short. Hello. Okay. Functional structure offers usually line and conflict and interdepartmental conflict. they tend to find overpower resources and benefits. Because see, if you're working with the people around you, it's obvious that you're going to get some time mess up with the arguments and quarrels that are taking place, right? So it is always observed that the functional structure usually offers line and staff conflict and interdepartmental conflict. They tend to move over power, resources and the benefit. So in this way, they might create a problem if an inappropriate kind of organizational structure is selected. So it is very necessary that appropriate organizational structure should be considered. Now you can see here the structural diagram of this thing, functional organization structure. Now, when we are talking about functional structure, various functions that are there in the organization are treated as a group. Okay, now for example, employment manager. So under him comes the HR, comes planning, comes resources, and placement. So for all this sub work, or you can say sub department, the department of employment manager will be the one who will be taking care of. Okay, the second one is R&D manager. See, when we are talking about R&D, then it is like something which is a continuous process. So all the activities covered under it will be uh, taken care of in front of the manager of that research and development methodology. Okay, then the third one is compensation manager. The job evaluation, then the salary survey, then the fringe benefit, interactive benefit, etc. These are all the compensation related analysis that take place in the organization, and or the manager of compensation department is responsible to carry out and take care of all the necessary things related to it. Then the next one is the industrial relation manager and welfare manager. So these are again two different departments, wherein one is related to industrial relation manager. So in it comes like industrial relation labor laws. So again, they are lesser in size. So if due to they being lesser in size, or you can say number of employees are comparatively less in size as those of others, then too you can consider them and uh, take them forward, and in such a way that these department also had certain impact on the outcome of the organization. So under industrial relation manager, again industrial and relations department will be there, again labor law will be there. Then talking about the functional, uh, sorry, next function, that is employee welfare. Then again under employee welfare, three sub departments are there. That is where welfare department, then counseling department and community department. So again these departments work together so as to accomplish the task of the employees welfare. Okay, and the last one is the manager communication, the manager common services. So manager common services are like security, then central estate, personal records, then the personal audits, etc. So all these details should be fair. So all this, you can say, hello, hello, then hello. Okay, I'll again repeat the point. So, under manager common services, security, central estate, personal records, and personal audit and research are part of it. Then all the people working under this task force will be reporting to the manager of common services, and he will responsible for that and taking care of. So all these managerial people are at a same common level, that is the employment manager, the HRD manager, the compensation manager, then the industrial relation manager, the employee welfare manager, and the manager with common services. All these people are at the same common level, same level in the organization, and they are working at the same level, and below the personal manager. And personal manager ultimately report to the upper level personal, that is the director of human resource. And then after the head of the department is nothing but the entire organization is nothing but the managing director. So in this way the entire hierarchy works. So this is called as the organizational structure of human resource department, or you can say the personal department in divisional organization. So in this way the organizational structure is designed, wherein the higher authority is the managing director, second highest authority is the director of human resource, third highest authority is the personal manager, and below the personal manager different functional uh, sub department are there, like employment manager, HRD manager, compensation manager, industrial relation manager, then employee welfare manager, and the manager for common services. And in this way the structure works. Okay, I hope all of you have got this. We shall be continuing the same point in the next session. Till then, thank you all for attending the session. Thank you.